I just ran the numbers on XRP's last monster run, and my calculator nearly burst into flames. So what if Lightning is gearing up to actually strike twice, only bigger? So picture this, right? It's a muggy evening in Dubai. I'm hunched over my laptop, charts glowing like neon graffiti, Bitcoin's flirting with record highs, and my buddies, keep kind of shrugging, asking, why is XRP still stuck in traffic? Now that question kind of ate at me, and I couldn't shake the deja vu because we've been here before, right? Cast your mind back to January of 2017. Donald Trump had just kind of swagged into the Oval Office. Pundits were rewriting macro playbooks, and a tiny token named XRP was twiddling its thumbs at the half a penny level. Now, nobody, least of all me, thought that it was about to roar 69,000% and melt eyeballs worldwide. Yet that's exactly what happened. Now you can cue the champagne, the confetti, and 1,000 regretful "I should have bought" tweets. Fast forward to today, same president, eerily similar market jitters. Raoul Pal, the macro, maestro, kind of called the 2017 risk asset melt up and says that we're on the starting block of a rerun. Now back then, a kind of surging US dollar flexed like a gym bro. Markets tightened, everything kind of slumped. Then the dollar weakened, liquidity flooded in, and crypto moons launched. Now, it sounds familiar. Well, this winter, we kind of ticked all of the same boxes, right? Dollars spiked after Trump's November win, altcoins kind of wobbling, Bitcoin stealing headlines, and now, right on schedule, the greenbacks losing steam again. It's like someone lit replay on the 2017 playlist. Here's the twist that kept me up until 3 a.m. XRP's price action is shadow boxing its own ghost. Now in 2017, the coin dozed for 2 months, then in March exploded 7,150% by May. It cooled, consolidated for 6 months, and detonated again in December, finishing at $3.80. The total score, 69,000%. Now, this cycle, XRP sprinted from 50 cents to $3.40 between November 2024 and January of 2025. About a 580% burst, a respectable appetizer. Still, February, it's kind of been chilling in a kind of sideways, or at least since February, it's been chilling in a sideways kind of corridor for, wait for it, 6 months. Now, the chart looked so identical, in fact, that I actually kind of overlaid them, and the curves kiss like deja vu doppelgangers. Now, before we dive deeper, let's talk about the giant neon problem sign flickering over our heads. Altcoins, XRP included, they feel like they're stuck in a dentist waiting room. Ugh. And everybody's kind of doom scrolling, right? Liquidity is thin, the attention spans are just splintered across AI stocks, meme coins, shit coins, and football transfer rumors, right? And I get DMs daily like, bro, is XRP dead? They want certainty, a guarantee, a Hollywood montage that ends with yachts and volcano surfing, right? Markets, they don't care about your montages. They care about liquidity, they care about narratives, and they care about catalysts. And right now, the narrative is swirling, right? Trump cycle, weaker dollar tailwinds, Ripple's ongoing real-world partnerships, and regulatory smoke finally clearing. But catalysts, they don't ring the doorbell. They sneak in while everyone else is yawning. So I phone my old college buddy, Ahmed, and he's the guy who's kind of sold his Xbox in 2017 to buy XRP at 0.5 cent, then forgot about it until Christmas and woke up a millionaire. Not kidding either, right? Now, Ahmed, told me he's seeing the same chatter in the forums, right? Whale wallets dormant since last cycle are twitching, and on-chain analysts are tracking dormant coins suddenly nudging towards exchanges. Something, and sometimes in fact, a sign of planned liquidity, if you will. Now, I pulled up sentiment data, right? Social volume on XRP has dipped, but when sentiment rests at kind of apathy, fireworks often kind of follow. It's kind of like everyone at the beach, right? Back turned, and just when the tsunami forms over the horizon. Meanwhile, macro winds are shifting. Right now, Raoul Pal notes that a policy-driven soft dollar stance usually ignites risk assets 3 months later. And guess what month that we are in? Yep, July. And the Fed's still kind of jawboning, inflation's simmering down, and bond yields are quietly retreating. Politics? Well, it's chaos in DC and kind of noise to all of us. We care about the kind of liquidity kind of, spigot. And it's kind of squeaking open a little bit here. Now, Pal's model kind of tracks the 2017 rocket in uncanny fashion. Risk assets bottomed in Q1, soared in Q3, Q4. We're standing at the very same inflection, right? Like déjà vu inside déjà vu, like Russian doll style. Now, at this point, you're going to probably be rather shocked because I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. Your investments are entirely your responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video today is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Alright, the disclaimer is out of the way, let's kind of march onwards here. Let's dissect those numbers. Right, XRP's first leg this cycle delivered 580%. If it mirrors 2017, then the second leg could track on roughly 121.8% of that move. The translation? Push from today's $2.20 something to around $5. That's not shabby, but the chart wizards at XRP, they think that our current consolidation is coiling the spring for something meatier, pointing at $6 as a minimal target. And if history gets kind of drunk and doubles its strength, while $7.80 begins to kind of wink. Now, I can hear the skeptics hammering their keyboards at the back there. $7, dude, that's hopium. Hey, maybe. Last cycle, plenty people swore that $1 was impossible until it, well, wasn't. Remember, price isn't just a crowd's loudest opinion, it's a single heartbeat in time. And crowds flip faster than a Dubai sports car in launch control, right? Could XRP rally 69,000% again? Well, mathematically, that would kind of stick us somewhere north of $1,500. A moonshot that would make even the kind of Winklevoss's kind of scay off then to the sunset, right? Is it realistic though? And it's hard to justify with the circulating supply where it is. But crypto loves rewriting math textbooks after all. What matters more, I guess, is risk-reward ratios. A plausible 3 to 5x in a kind of macro tailwind environment with structural upside if Ripple's enterprise deals take root globally, plus clarity on US regs. Well, that's a cocktail that bartenders call high octane with a salted rim. So let me drop a quick anecdote then, right? Last month, I joined an XRP community meetup at a cafe on Sheikh Zayed Road. Half the attendees were OG hodlers who survived the 2020-2022, SEC saga. Hats off to you. The other half, of course, were Gen Z TikTokers wearing token logo baseball caps, asking if NFTs were retro yet. Now, someone pulled up a kind of wallet from 2014 holding 10 million XRP untouched. Now that's like discovering a forgotten Picasso in Grandma's attic. Now they weren't there to brag, they just wanted reassurance that patience still pays. Narrative, after all, matters, and they said, but time in the market matters significantly more. Now, speaking of community, if you're hungry for, brainy kind of banter that goes deeper than when moon, then you should probably hit up our free educational Discord server. The invite link is lounging in the description. We've got analysts charting everything from liquidity heat maps to whale movement alerts, plus weekly voice chats where we debate whether technical analysis is art, science, or complete witchcraft. And yes, it's genuinely free because education shouldn't be behind a paid wall. Now, let's gear shift to the kind of nitty-gritty. How do I personally position myself? Well, I dollar cost average. Way less glamorous than the YOLO leverage stuff that we see all the time, but my kind of blood pressure appreciates it. And I use Kraken Pro because A, the interface feels like a spaceship cockpit, and B, their liquidity depth, does wonders for large orders, and C, the link down below is an affiliate link that supports the channel, full transparency. So if you do sign up and, trade through it, Kraken tosses me a little thank you, which kind of helps keep the lights on and the meme budget pretty healthy. Let's circle back to the macro. A weaker dollar is oxygen for emerging markets and crypto alike, but it won't stay weak forever, right? Pal argues that this is just a technical dip, not a structural decline. Now, the window could be 6 to 9 months. So think of it like surfing, right? You paddle early, you feel the swell lift you, then commit before the crest breaks. You wait too long and you're just going to be floating among the jellyfish. Now, if you do jump in, set mental stop losses. What events will kill the thesis? Well, maybe a sudden hawkish Fed pivot, maybe an unexpected Ripple lawsuit twist, maybe a black swan headline that we can't even imagine yet. So build your exit ramps before you actually speed up. Otherwise, the market will build them for you, usually off of a cliff. Okay, so let's spice the soup with some stats. Now, XRP's ledger reports transaction throughput averaging 1,600 TPS this quarter, dwarfed by Solana's Sprint numbers, but far ahead of the 2017 baseline. Meanwhile, of course, Ripple's on-demand liquidity corridors have expanded into 90-plus country pairs, and Asian remittance volume just hit an all-time high. Now that's nerdy, but here's why you should care. Utility fights speculative fatigue, if you will. And in 2017, XRP surge was largely narrative-based. This time, there's actual usage chugging behind the scenes, like discovering your favorite garage band now sells out stadiums. Yet, caution flag. Incentives matter. A chunk of XRP's supply rests in escrow, dripping out monthly. Now, market absorption, hinges on continued institutional demand. If corporations slow their adoption cycles during a recession scare, well, released tokens could slosh onto exchanges and dent prices. It's chess, not checkers. And while we think about risk, remember liquidity rotates. Altcoins often rally in seasons. Bitcoin kind of pops first, Ethereum follows, then large caps like XRP, ADA, sprint. And finally, the micro caps do their turbocharged cameo right before the lights go out. Now we're sitting between stages 2 and 3, of course. If history rhymes, our window could be August through November, right when holiday headlines crank FOMO. Now that's the climax moment, right? Newsrooms scramble, aunties kind of WhatsApp each other about digital gold, and Coinbase glitches under the traffic load. Your job is not to be the hero that nails the exact top. Your job is to ride the middle 60%, tip your trader's hat, and step off the roller coaster before the queasy loop the loop. Now, earlier today, I rewatched my 2017 vlog. Yes, cringe-worthy, I know, and I noticed something. Between my kind of shaky webcam and reoccurring theme wasn't price, it was community, right? Everyone felt like pioneers standing on the edge of old finance, right? Staring at a kind of simmering new continent. That kind of faded in the kind of bear years, right? Criticism kind of seeped in. But guess what? It's creeping back, and you can feel it in Telegram chats, in Discord servers, and see it in developer community conference attendees. Hear it in the CEOs kind of sneaking tokenizations into earning calls. Markets move on the stories here, and the stories pen in scribbling, at least is scribbling once again, right? It's getting juicy. Let's just imagine, though, the best case scenario that 2025's chapter can print. XRP kind of cracks $5 by Halloween, maybe. Ripple kind of inks another bank consortium deal, and mainstream news finally drops the controversial kind of descriptor, right? Suddenly, right, dormant wallets, they light up like Christmas, and retail FOMO surges, right? Coinbase's top 10 list kind of reshuffles, and you, calm as a monk because you watched this video, already kind of planned taking profits, tiers at 25% at $4, another 25% at $5.50, trailing stop after $7. You screenshot your gains, you treat yourself to a shawarma, and help mum maybe retire her mortgage. Now that's the dream storyboard, right? Will reality match it? Well, only market dice kind of know at this point. I guess time will tell. Now, the worst case scenario, macro sours, right? The dollar snaps back. Altcoin liquidity completely evaporates. XRP drifts to $1.20 as traders chase the next shiny narrative. If that outcome kind of nukes your life savings, your position was oversized. Lessons from 2018. Survive first, thrive later. No coin is worth, marital counseling because you just knew that it would 10x. Obviously, it probably isn't going to do everything as you see, as you kind of plan for it. So yeah, do yourself a favor. Don't oversize, don't over leverage, and plan for the worst case scenario. But here is why I am leaning cautiously optimistically, right? Because the fundamentals plus the macro tailwind plus of course the hypothetical rhythm and rhyme is a pretty much tasty trifecta of, if I do say so myself. Now, does it guarantee victory? Absolutely not, but it does tilt the odds a little bit. So think poker, right? You've got a flashy draw and two cards to come. You're not all in, blindly, but you're playing the probabilities. Now, people ask me all the time, how do you keep your conviction? And I just diversify my conviction, to be honest. 10% brain space scans charts daily, 15% kind of reads the legal docs on Ripple's court filings, 30% listens to the macro podcasts, and the kind of remaining 45%, well, that hangs out in our Discord server, cross-examining every thesis. Iron sharpens iron at the end of the day, and sometimes we even talk at each other out of bad trades because, we do. And before, of course, they actually hatched those trades. So you should probably come join if you like brutal honesty over the echo chambers that you find on Twitter. Again, the link below is totally free. All right, let's end with a sprinkle of pure possibility then. Imagine Raoul Pal's call hits perfection. Risk assets go vertical Q3. The dollar sinks, capital stampedes, and by New Year's Eve, we're tossing a new class of quietly minted crypto millionaires. Will XRP be on the shortlist? Well, it actually depends on execution, regulation, and pure market psychology. But history has an odd sense of humour, so I, for one, am keeping a bag packed.